Well, I guess we're going to be talking about the top story of the weekend. Panthers almost beating the Chiefs.
Really? You say that's the top story, huh?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that happened.
All right. Oh my god, we did it!
I don't want to hear it from a guy who's half his fan base is Swifties. Broncos country, let's cry.
Back to the Super Bowl.
Why'd they put the trash cans next to the Cowboys helmet?
You could take it and shove it up your.
Peace!
What I really need to be hearing from you, though, is thank you.
Good afternoon, football fans, and happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at the Trajan Sportcast. I am your host, professional wrestler, and Kansas City Chiefs fanatic Christian Temple, joined alongside, as always, by my good friend, well, he's better sounding this week. His hearing is kind of up in the air, but his feelings might have been a little perturbed after a certain Thursday night game too. He's not really twirling the terrible towel, but you know what? He's still got it there. He's still got that Stiller pride. So, and he's here with us today to talk about a couple of games. Let's give it up for Trajan. How are you this fine day? Have you at least emotionally recovered just a little bit?
I'm not as angry. You're mad.
Fair, fair.
I haven't threatened anything recently, so
Oh, okay.
we're
Well,
good.
very good, very good. I see. I see. It only took 6 days, but still, that's still pretty good.
Progress.
You're at least in a good headspace to enjoy your Thanksgiving, right?
No, of course, of course.
Of course, absolutely. So, yes, it is our Week 12 Progress Report Tier Maker episode. But before we get to that, we have a couple games to talk about, and we brought it back last week for the first time in several weeks. And unfortunately, I was the recipient, but now it is time to pay the piper, my friend, after a terrible, terrible, but yet somewhat beautiful Thursday night snow game at Cleveland Browns Stadium. It was just not a good night for the Russell Wilson led Pittsburgh Steelers, although it was a pretty good night for the Jameis Winston led Cleveland Browns. So, without further ado, Trajan, let's talk about it.
Well, a wise man once said, "The horses and wagons may be ready for war, but the good Lord decides." Whatever it may be. Obviously, he did not shine upon Steeler Nation because in a beautiful snow game, we lose to the frickin' Cleveland Browns. One went right in this game.
Are we starting? We're starting there, huh?
We're gonna start with the good stuff and end with the bad. Russell Wilson had an efficient game, not as good as what I would like, but he's still 270, one touchdown. If you just took those stats in a vacuum, it'd be a pretty decent day. That's just it. That's just all it is there. I mean, we had a 46 long from Calvin Austin. That was pretty awesome. Got me
Hmm.
pumped up.
Yep.
Um, George Pickens was George Pickens. He may have been a little feisty, but it is what it is at this point. TJ Watt had an amazing game. Lots of impact on the game. The impact. I just don't know. I said in last week that I don't know about this game and that I would not bet on this game at all. I would not touch this game for a bet. And I was right to have those feelings.
Hmm.
Started out the game with a Boswell miss kick.
Mm.
Granted, the conditions were not that favorable. It wasn't the perfect conditions for, I believe it was a long kick too. I think it was like 56 yards or something like that. But oh well. Um, we had them. I mean, we had them. We had them outgained. It looked like we were driving on them, and then all of a sudden, second quarter hits, and Jameis Winston just is picking us apart, apparently. Jerry Judy looks like good wide receiver. And Miles Garrett, of all people, has to strip sack a quarterback in a game where TJ Watt does nothing. Um, I thought we were going to win. I at one point, and then I all hope was lost, and I said, "Welp, that's it. We lost." And then hope came again. We secure the fourth quarter lead. I'm like, okay, maybe. And then a 15-yard punt happens, followed by what I would say pass. I mean, before was pass interference on the defense. We should have, had a first down, but that's neither here or there. But a 15-yard punt right in our territory at
Mm-mm.
the end of the game when all they needed was a field goal, and we let them go score a touchdown, and we couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything there. I will say, Mike Tomlin, I was screaming at my TV, take the timeout. Let him walk in, take the timeout. We could have had 30 more seconds. But yeah. No. Instead I got to hear Jameis Winston talk about a great game, see pictures of them celebrating their Super Bowl in the locker room, and hear Miles Garrett say he's number one.
Ah,
I- the bitterness just never ends.
boy, howdy, was there a lot to unpack in this game. First of all, let's start with the quarterbacks. You look at these two quarterback stats here. You've got a quarterback that has a touchdown and no interceptions. Then you've got the other quarterback with no touchdowns and one interceptions. And who ended up winning that game? I do have to say, though, yeah, Russell Wilson did not look comfortable in the pocket for most of the game, too. The Steelers' O line was unfortunately exposed in this game. Of course,
What's that?
injuries have been a big part of that. 4 sacks to Russell Wilson, 3 of which coming from Miles Garrett. So there was nothing hypothetical about his production in this game. Uh, I don't remember who it was, whoever the right tackle was for the Cleveland Browns, but give him a freaking medal because T.J. Watt did not record a single pressure in this game, which is insane to think against a team like Cleveland of all teams.
To be fair, he was doubled and chipped almost every single play.
But
But yeah,
even still, when every team does that to him, and he still finds a way to wreck games. And this time, he could not overcome it this time. So it was just one of those off games for him, which probably means he'll go off against Cincinnati this week. You would hope anyway.
got
Um,
it.
Nick Chubb, a 2 touchdown game from him. That was awesome, especially since I had him on my fantasy team and I started him this week. Jerry Judy, where the heck has this been all year? Uh, God dang! I mean, he's like it wasn't even a 100-yard game, but still, he was Winston's most reliable receiver, much more reliable than Njoku, who's had multiple passes hit him directly in the hands. They just dropped. Um, gotta go back to what you said, where you thought the game was over, and then all of a sudden the Steelers, breathed life back into themselves. Um, and I'm trying to remember here. What was it that you sent me when the Steelers were up 18-6? I'm trying to remember. You sent me a text. Can't remember what it said or.
Oh no, I was under pain medication. And I don't know.
It was so funny because as soon as you said it, I just knew. It's like there is still so much time left in this game. It is not over by a long shot. But hey, you got credit to the Steelers. They were down, but they were not out. It just came down to the fact that the Browns were not good on third downs the whole game, but they were somehow perfect every single time on fourth down. It was like they just refused to die. They were the cockroach. They just would not be crushed. And you brought up a timeout from Tomlin earlier. What in the world was going on on that 3rd and 7 or 4th and 2? Like he like changed his mind at least like 2 or 3 times, and then even after that, he still called timeout. Something you could have probably it would have been very helpful, at the end of the game and everything too. So
I do not recall the situation you're talking.
I don't know what in the world was the confusion on there. Was he getting bad information from upstairs? I don't know.
I don't know.
That was that that was a cluster in and of itself for the coaching staff, which actually kind of summed up how the game went for Pittsburgh in general. It was just a cluster from almost start to finish. So, but hats off to the Cleveland Browns. You took care of business at home against a hated division rival. You are not going to get swept by the Pittsburgh Steelers for the second year in a row.
Yeah,
Second. Yeah, yeah.
they beat us at home these last handful of times, I think, actually.
Yes, they have. So, yes, once again, hats off to the Cleveland Browns. Pittsburgh looking to bounce back against another divisional opponent this week. We shall see how that goes. But in the meantime, we will end Trade to Suffering and move on to another game here, too. And you're most certainly welcome. And, it wasn't pretty, but hey, a win is a win is a win. So let's hear it, Kingdom. How about those Chiefs? Easily the best game of Bryce Young's young career, by far. Hats off to him. Season's pretty much done for the Carolina Panthers as far as any playoff hopes too. But yeah, they brought it in the Carolina, even though it was quite a bit of red in the stadium. Of course, with $20 tickets, who wouldn't want to show up to see your team play? Boy, it sure beats the price I'm gonna pay for Black Friday to go watch my team play. As far as the game itself, the game started off great. Samaje Perine came within this close to returning the opening kickoff for a touchdown. And then 2 plays later, Noah Gray, wide open touchdown. This is the second week in a row that Noah Gray scored 2 touchdowns. And just goes to show, you can cover Travis Kelce all you want, but Noah Gray, he's got a pretty good mentor. He learns to find those spaces that Travis Kelce has been feasting on for years and years. Chiefs go up 10-0. Carolina responds with the field goal. Go down, get another touchdown. Carolina, another field goal. Go down and get a field goal. Carolina, another field goal. We've got a 20-9 into the first half. I'm thinking, okay, well, it's 2-possession game. Not feeling too bad here. Go to the third quarter, and Carolina gets the ball first, and they pulled the Buffalo strategy. They go 8.5 minutes on that first drive coming out of half, and then go down and get a touchdown. And that's the strategy. That's how you beat Kansas City. You keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands, and you run up as much clock as you possibly can. That was the right strategy. Chiefs do respond. They go down the field. They also get another touchdown. Can only muster up a field goal in the third quarter, but got to give credit to Bryce Young. He had the opportunity to go down the field and tie the game and give his team a chance to win, and he did it. He drove down the field. I got to say, I completely forgot that David Moore, who was still in the league, and boy howdy did the Chiefs secondary make him look good this week. Adam Thielen had himself a decent game as well. The rookie, Xavier Legette, 4 catches for 56 yards, including a 34-yard catch. Bryce Young looked the most comfortable we've seen him be all year long. Our pass rush wasn't as effective as what it was. Mahomes getting sacked 5 times in this game definitely did not help. Even though you look at everything else with Mahomes, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, he's been taking care of the ball a lot better these past few weeks, albeit the exception being the Buffalo game where he did have 2 picks. But he has, gotten his stride back too, but now the secondary for Kansas City is becoming a little bit of an issue here too. I am excited for DJ Humphries to finally get into the rhythm of the offensive line, because Wanya Morris is just it's getting tougher and tougher to watch, especially on the other side too. You're seeing the right tackle starting to have issues. Jawan Taylor having back-to-back penalties on one of the drives that killed some momentum there. But yeah. It was a walk-off field goal from one Spencer Schrader, who is still perfect as our kicker in the 2 weeks that he's been with us, although he did not practice today. It was showing a hamstring injury. We did re-sign Matthew Wright, who at one point, kind of a cool did you know, held the record for the Kansas City's longest field goal until Harrison Butker took the record back 2 weeks later when he came healthy again. So at least Matthew Wright's, used to playing at Arrowhead. He's used to the field. He's used to the conditions and everything too. If Spencer Schrader does not play, so kicking is obviously a big thing with Kansas City. They like to try to get the points, whether it be with touchdowns or field goals. It'll be awesome to see Isaiah Pacheco back on the field this week, as well as potentially, although it hasn't been made official, but potentially Charles Omenihu perhaps returning to the lineup, which will definitely help the pass rush, which is much needed right now. I mean, the Chiefs only managed 2 sacks against that offensive line of Carolina. It has not been fantastic this year. I mean, I'm sure Carolina fans would rather have that O-line than Chicago's O-line right now. That goes without saying. Yeah, not a pretty game. Glad they got the win. Obviously, there's concerns that need to be addressed. So we shall see how that goes. And the true test will be this coming Friday, Black Friday, against our vaunted rivals, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, you should win that game. But, man, I was hoping for this upset. Really was.
It would have
Especially after we lost to the Browns.
I was gonna say it would have taken a little bit of the edge off that loss, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I came in and I saw you guys were tied up in the fourth. I'm like, oh my gosh, it can't be true. This might actually happen. There is some luck in me yet, but it was not meant to be.
Your luck is not better than the Mahomes magic, which is sad that we had to use some of that for this game. But hey, a great run by him. Shout out to Justin Watson, made 2 key blocks on that singular run that got them into easy field goal range. No trouble whatsoever for Spencer Schrader, so hats off to them to at least, find a way to win, even though things were looking kind of bleak for just a moment there. So, alrighty. Are you ready to talk about some other teams now?
Yes, let's not talk about this.
Sounds good.
Talk about the future. Brighter thing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the NFL Tier Maker. Pretty excited here too. There's going to be some moving and shaking going on here. There's going to be some teams moving up, some teams moving down. We shall, we usually start from the bottom and go to the top, but I think the top is pretty much set for the most part here. So we shall start from the top and work our way down. And the easy pick right here. I don't think there's going to be too much change as far as the Super Bowl contenders. You probably agree with me on that.
Yeah, that's as of right now. Yeah, that's the matchup it looks like it's going to be.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, moving down to playoff contenders, starting with the first couple here. Kansas City, obviously, 4 games ahead of the next closest rival, which is the Los Angeles Chargers and Denver Broncos at 7 wins. So keep them at playoff contender. Still half game ahead in their division. Still half game ahead of the Ravens, so I think we'll keep them there. We'll keep the Ravens there. Boy, this will be interesting. How do you feel about the Houston Texans, especially after dropping the game against the Tennessee Titans, surprisingly, this past week?
I'm going to go with they looked over the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
They need to figure out what's going on with Stroud and quick. Their defense is doing well. I mean, they're getting interceptions, they're getting turnovers, getting sacks. But Stroud is turning over the ball way too much, and he's not hitting open targets. He's overthrowing. He's underthrowing. He's definitely taken a step back this year.
This is not a good time for the sophomore slump to hit.
But they're just so much stronger than anyone else in their division. Still, I mean, even though they lost to the Titans, I'm going to chalk that up as a fluke. I'll leave them there.
Absolutely. Indy's a couple games back, but it's just really hard to put faith in them right now too. They're just so hit and miss right now, so I have to agree with you on that. We go to the Green Bay Packers here, who kind of exercised some demons this past week, beating up their vaunted rival, the San Francisco 49ers, albeit the 49ers were half their team was in the hospital wing, it seemed like. So, Vikings and Packers still got to keep them playoff contenders. It seems like it's going to be mostly NFC North teams representing in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Green Bay, Minnesota, especially since Minnesota just signed the great Daniel Jones to their to their lineup, so they're a shoe in for a playoff spot now. So,
Of course.
all right, moving on to the Falcons here. What do you see for them right now?
I want to switch them with Tampa Bay. I mean, really, with their division. Um, I think Tampa's the stronger team.
Alrighty, our first move of the night. Tampa Bay stock up, Atlanta stock down. Tampa Bay only one game behind right now, so I mean, anything could happen. It is definitely down between the two of them. Although New Orleans, might be lurking in the shadows. We'll have to see how things go. But yeah, I think especially after that performance Tampa Bay had, they look like they're starting to fire back on all cylinders. And I believe Mike Evans is back. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know
Or
about
is
him.
coming back. He might be coming back here soon too, which they'll definitely need that for the playoff push. All right. Well, we've already moved one team down, another team up. I think it's time to knock the Commanders down a peg. I mean, they're still obviously in a position to perhaps take a wild card spot, but I mean, right now it's Philly's division. Philly with Saquon leading the charge, Jalen Hurts. They got a 2-game advantage over Washington right now. Philly's getting hot at the right time, and it seems like it's going to be pretty hard to knock them down from that pedestal. So we shall see how that goes. But yeah, Philly, welcome back. Welcome back to playoff contender.
Just imagine if if Hertz and Brown get that connection from the Super Bowl back with
Right.
Saquon rolling like he is. This would be like the most dangerous team.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, this next division is absolutely drunk right now. Like,
No
just
one wants it.
no team wants to take advantage. Each team is getting taken advantage of. It's it's just I mean, all right, so we have the Cardinals and 49ers both at meh right now. I think it's time to knock the 49ers down a peg, honestly. And I guess Seahawks and Cardinals, you two can battle it out for playoff contender, although neither of you are really worthy right now. LA Rams, you can stay next to San Fran in the black category. I mean, this is just a meh division. I mean, that's it's the NFC meh.
It
That's
is.
it's all it is. I mean, yeah, Seahawks beat the Cardinals, but still, it's like I can't put my faith in them. They're 3-4 at home. They seem to only do good on the road, and they drop games that they should, truthfully, should probably dominate at the very least win. So, good lord. I mean, jeez, someone step up here. I'm begging you.
Yeah, yeah, I just don't know with them. And we got the Colts. I think they stay. I'm not quite sure with them. They can do good. Sometimes they get too tired. I don't know.
Man, it's taking every bit of me not to knock them down to Bleh. It really is, but it's like I mean, if you're comparing them with everyone else in their division, meaning the Jaguars and the Titans, I mean, yes, they're clearly a step above both of them, but at the same time, it's like, man, I just cannot put my faith in them at all, too. So I guess we'll hold on to them one more time in the same category. But boy, howdy, are they treading on thin ice here. So we have a lot of contenders in the AFC West right now. I mean, we've got the Chargers at 7-4, although they did lose pretty convincingly to the Baltimore Ravens on Monday night. Denver Broncos are finding their way as well. I
Who would have
mean,
thought?
still, they're the three wins back, both teams of Kansas City. Chargers. Let's see. Who do they play this week? I know the Broncos got the Browns, which means they'll probably win that
Are they
one.
gonna let me
The
down?
Falcons. The Chargers have the Falcons here, so I really think both teams are going to win their respective games, which honestly is darn near going to lock them up. So I'm going to do this for both of them right now, but one of them may drop off next time. Right now, the way I see it, both the Chargers and Denver, they look like playoff contenders to me. And, it kind of hurts to say, being a Chiefs fan, to say that, but there is some competition between the two of them to secure a wild card spot. And, hats off to them. They've turned their seasons around with the moves they've made and the changes they've made, respectively.
Just think, if you drop 6, you could not win the division.
God, don't you put that on me.
Oh, I'll put that on you every day.
Well, now we're on to the blah teams, and boy howdy, the Dolphins are.
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins are starting to maybe find a little bit of a foothold here.
I mean, they are second place in their division.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, I think the Dolphins. I mean, obviously with Tua back, they're a different team.
yeah.
So, are we keeping them bleh?
I'm moving them
Just
up.
because they're wicked?
I'm moving them up to meh. Because they're finding their step, their stride right now. Obviously not ready for playoff contender at all. I mean, there's a chance they could sneak their way into a playoff position. I don't see that happening, but I think they're starting to find their groove a little bit more. Like you said, with Tua coming back and actually playing, pretty good ball ever since coming back
Yeah.
too. Pretty good on him. So yeah, I see Dolphins at meh.
I think we should move the Bears up to meh as well. Just
Cool.
because back to back, they almost beat our playoff contenders there in Green Bay and Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they don't know how to close a game.
The circumstances, albeit not completely out of their control, it's just, oh man, that hurts. So, but hey, they are being, they are acting competitive. Like I said earlier, that offensive line, poor Caleb Williams, he is doing everything he possibly can to get this team in the right direction, and it's showing a little bit of promise. But yeah, I think so. I think their effort alone definitely does not belong in trash. Might bring them back down to blah when Week 16 rolls around, but hey, I like the effort. I like what I'm seeing from that. A couple teams I don't like seeing that are immediately just going straight down to hell. Just both New Jersey teams. Yeah, you're done. There's no saving you. There's no saving you. There's no salvaging you. It's just bad times all around for you.
Aaron Rodgers is in the trash category. Isn't that crazy?
Amazing.
Super Bowl contenders at the beginning of the year.
Everyone was picking him.
Everyone.
Just imagine all the hope that Jets fans have, and now just all of a sudden just down the drain.
I don't
And
know if Jets fans know how to hope.
Giants fans had no hope to start with, so this is really this is nothing new to them.
Yeah, they're straight trash. They've sold anything good on their team. It's just a matter of time before the GM and the head coach is gone too.
Exactly.
The Rams.
I think the Rams are where they need to be.
There's so many injuries, but even then, I mean, yeah.
It's weird saying that because they can still win their division, but yeah. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna make an executive decision here too, just on the sole fact that Deshaun Watson's no longer their quarterback, and the fact that they beat a playoff contender. I'm gonna upgrade the Cleveland Browns to blah. They earned that. I think they earned that much out of that. They didn't get swept. They beat the Ravens. They beat the Steelers. Jameis Winston is actually giving this team just a little bit of hope. You know what, Cleveland? You're mad, my book. Wear it with pride.
Oh my gosh. We had a chance to knock them out of the playoff contention.
You had a chance to knock them back down to trash, and you let it go.
And yeah, they are who we thought we were. Let them off the hook.
Let them off the hook.
Cowboys, I think, are the trash category.
I think so too. Yeah, it's just, yeah. Dak Prescott gone. They didn't go get Daniel Jones, who could have saved their franchise. It's just all in, baby, all in. Now they're all out
All
of
in.
time. They're all out of time.
Yep.
Alrighty. We'll kind of speed around these next couple. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna give Titans a pass. You know what, Titans? You know what? We'll bring you up. You know, good win against the Texans there too. You escaped the trash bin just this one time. Jacksonville, get out of my sight.
Yeah, it's done. The Trevor Lawrence experience has failed miserably, I think. Um, the Panthers, they're trash. I mean, they fought valiantly. That was their Super Bowl, and they couldn't even win that.
You know what? I was half expecting you to say Bleh, and honestly, I would have agreed with you. But yeah, as far as their record and everything too, that's just they're one game back of the Saints. That was their one shining moment was taking down New Orleans, who was still with them in trash. Yeah, it's valiant effort on there. Who knows? Maybe they'll rattle off some wins toward the end here too, and maybe they'll upgrade
Yeah.
themselves. Alrighty. Well, as far as my opponent for Black Friday, Raiders, you're staying where you are. We're staying you are, and hopefully we take the trash out on Friday. Hopefully we don't play down to competition again like we have these past few games. Hopefully this is our statement game. We've been needing this for a while, so what better team to beat up on than the Raiders?
If Aiden O'Connell can somehow find a way, that'd be great. But yeah, trash. Bengals on moving up to bleh,
Mm.
just on their sole offensive line.
We should split the Bengals logo in half, and one representing the offense and one representing the defense, because defense would be below trash, and then the offense might even be meh, honestly.
I mean, with the stats they've been putting up, I mean, Burrow's having an MVP season. It's just you're not going to win MVP with that record.
God, your poor that the poor Joe Burrow. I can't believe I'm saying this. Poor Joe Burrow. The man can only do so much.
Yep. I'm
uh,
your quarterback.
so
I'm your defense.
exactly.
Um,
That's right.
well,
Shout out OG Lightskins. Make some good stuff, man. I love it. Love it. Uh,
I think we could say these next two teams are bad.
I think the tier maker is set pretty
Yeah,
well from everything that we've seen so far.
not a
Um,
big middle.
yeah, we'll see. So yes, that is our week 12 progress report, as we usually do. With week 16, the parameters will change a little bit. So Super Bowl will remain the same. You know, the two top teams that we think are going to the Super Bowl. Playoff contender will actually change to teams that are locked in a playoff spot. And then the meh category will be the ones that are still in the hunt. The bleh will be the ones that most likely have no hope at all, and obviously trash. I mean, they had no hope to begin with. It's been over since like today, basically. So yes, we look forward to checking how things shake out on week 16, which actually, funny enough, is going to be leading up to a certain matchup on Christmas Day. So it'll be interesting to talk about that right before our teams go to war for a potential playoff spot. Maybe even play for bye if we see things
Maybe.
shake out. Can never know. We shall see. But let us know down in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree with certain teams? Do they deserve to be a higher or lower, or are they in the right spot? We'd love to hear from you. Trajan, you've got the Bengals coming up this week. What time is that game taking place, and where's that one happening at?
So it is at Burrowhead, uh, the only
Oh,
stadium he may own.
there you go. Yeah.
Um, it's at noon, and boy, am I worried.
Mm.
Um, hopefully, we take care of business. We sack Joe Burrow a lot. We take out our frustrations, and we beat him by 40 points.
There you go. That's all you can hope for, right?
That's all I can hope for.
I see this being a defensive struggle. No. uh,
Ooh.
watch this be the one time their defense does absolutely amazing. That'd just be awful. That'd be the worst.
Yeah,
Ah,
that would be.
yep. Alrighty,
Ooh, a
so
freezing game coming up.
yes, we do. We got 3 Thanksgiving games, and we got 1 Black Friday game, and that is the main reason why I'm wearing my black Chiefs shirt here too. Even though this will probably be one of like 5 layers that I'm wearing, at the stadium. It's gonna be a pretty cool game. But yes, the wife and I will be at Arrowhead Stadium for the Black Friday matchup of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Las Vegas Raiders. Really looking forward to that, because first game back in god dang, let's see, it would have been early November of last year when the Chiefs played the Eagles. So super excited to be back at Arrowhead. It's always a great time there too. Fun atmosphere. Many snacks and drinks will be had in the tailgates. So gonna be a great time. So hopefully Chiefs continue their winning ways, and they have a shot to lock up a playoff spot with a win and a Dolphins loss this week. So we shall see how that shakes out. But in the meantime, in the in-between time, thank you everybody so much for watching. Click like if you enjoyed the episode. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all of your friends. And we will see you all next week for the Week 13 recap.
Please let you lose.